Ready? Sweet.
AquaMethodPodcast. Nonconformist, positive nonsense.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy GP and rocking with me on the Aqua Method Podcast. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, GrasshopperGP, Instagram, GrasshopperGP, both of which spelled normally, no special characters, numbers, emojis, underscores, anything crazy like that. GrasshopperGP, Instagram, and Twitter. Send me an email at GrasshopperGP@yahoo.com. Any types of sponsorships, advertisements, have any questions on me to answer on the podcast, or if you just have something nice to say about the podcast, I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank y'all for rocking with me, and you are watching this and listening to this on GrasshopperGP Official. That's Grasshopper with 3 S's because when I made the account, I couldn't spell. GrasshopperGP Official with 3 S's is the YouTube account. The other accounts are spelled normally because I took my time with them. You see him, you know this guy. If you watch local news, you know this dude. It's Stephen Albritton from the TV station I work at. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, man, I'm here. I'm feeling good.
I saw you looking at me when I was doing my little spill there. How you critique that? Was good?
No, but you ran that out like you've done it a million times.
Yeah,
you
well,
know? Didn't even blink.
Right. It took a lot of practice to get that going, man. But it's gonna take me a little while to get to your level.
All it takes is practice, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing this since I was in 6th grade, or at the very least, you know, had the idea of wanting to do this TV thing, and you know, I just kind of set myself up to, you know, do it from the very beginning.
What made you want to get into TV?
Well, I actually, it was one Christmas, and my parents got my brother and I, you know, cable TV and this little small 13-inch TV in our rooms, you know, nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. And every morning before school, I would wake up extra early, 5:45, so I could watch the, you know, shower, get ready, and watch the 6 a.m. Sports Center, you know, from 6 to about 6:40, 6:35, 6:40 when I had to walk out the door, you know, to catch the school bus or, you know, head off to school. And I saw guys like Stuart Scott, John Anderson, Rich Eisen, Dan Patrick, and all these guys in Sports Center doing it at the highest level. And I told myself, well, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know? And that just kind of set me on a path to where I am now.
Yeah, man. That's how I feel about it. That's what made me want to get into it. I was watching. I don't know if you ever saw it. There was a TV channel called G4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Attack of the Show.
Yeah.
Olivia Munn was on that, and I'm like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. That's what I wanted to do. And
I like that.
And Kevin Pereira, I think his name was. He was one of the hosts of Attack of the Show. And he said that he started off as a production assistant and then he became, you know, like the anchor of the show. So I'm like, I could do that, you know. And so I got, like, similar to you, I got my degree and 3 years later I started working at the station.
Yeah, and then once you're in and you have the connections and you have the contacts and the equipment available to you, you can kind of, you know, make your moves from there.
So where has this journey taken you? This is the station we work at is your first station.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What were you doing before that?
Oh, looking for my first job.
Right.
You know, I spent a year looking. You know, once I finished my master's degree, you know, I spent a year looking for my first job. I was working cheer camps. You know, cheerleading. That's another story we can get into later. And I was working high school and college cheer camps all summer long. I was looking for a job. No job came up, so I started serving tables back home. Still looking for a job.
Yep.
You know, and I love serving tables. That was one of my favorite jobs I've ever had.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things I think everybody should serve tables.
I said that on the podcast. I said that retail and working at a restaurant are two things that you need to be a fully formed human being.
Yeah, one or the other or both.
Right.
If you do that for 2 or 3 months, and it will change your perspective on everything else.
Absolutely.
You know, how to treat people, how people treat you, how people treat strangers. Whew. Yeah, so I was serving tables, and you know, I had the opportunity to do some traveling around the world, and I moved out to Los Angeles with a buddy of mine. Slept on his couch for 2 months. But then at that point, I applied for around 100 jobs, and I'm like, I need to get something. So I started, you know, applying even harder. And then next thing you know, I'm sitting on a couch in Los Angeles, and I get a phone call from a news director in Lake Charles, Louisiana. He gives me an offer, and about 25 minutes later, KATC called, and then they gave me an offer. So, you know, I go almost a year to the day without having any offers, any bites, and I get 2 in the span of 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of wild how it worked out. So I was sitting in Los Angeles, and I'm like, well, guys, thanks. Appreciate it. Loaded up the little stuff I had and drove back across the country to Indiana, and then unpacked, repacked, grabbed more stuff, since obviously I'd be moving down here permanently.
Right.
And turned right back around and made the drive down here to Louisiana.
what made you make the decision from the station we work at versus the one in Lake Charles?
Oh, my dad wouldn't let me go to Lake Charles.
Why not?
Well, ironically enough, I was born here in Lafayette, Louisiana. My parents lived down here as well. My dad worked in the rice fields in Crowley. He did pesticide work for a company.
Okay.
And he did some work in Lake Charles. He did some work in Opelousas, the whole area down here, so he knew it. And my dad kind of knew, the difference between Lake Charles and Lafayette. There's a lot more happening in Lafayette. I don't think you'd find anybody who would argue against that.
Yeah, good point.
And since this is kind of my first home,
Yeah.
in a sense, even though I was only here for the first 2 or 3 months of my life, him and my mom were excited for me to come back down here.
Okay, yeah. So, but you grew up in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
What was there any big culture shocks? But no, you had went around though, so I guess not.
The first time I was back here in Lafayette was when I came back 25 years later.
Right.
Big surprise.
So, no real culture shock. My parents gave me kind of the rundown of what to expect down here.
Okay.
And, I got here and I loved it. My first day here was Festival International. It was the last day of Festival International, so
Really?
I got kind of the whole Lafayette experience real
That's
quick.
dope. That's dope. Yeah, man. So you wasn't shocked or anything about that, about coming back here. That's cool. But yeah, like a lot of people didn't know that you was actually born here and that you had moved away. But like, how was growing up in Indiana?
Cold. One thing we don't have here in Louisiana is like full seasons. You might get a taste of a fall, a little
Right.
taste of a winter, but in Indiana you get everything. You get 3 months solid. Well, feels like longer in wintertime of actual season and cold and 8, 10, 12 inches of snow with some ice on top of that, and then you still got to go to school. So it was nice to come down here and get about 10 and a half months of warm weather.
Right. Well, that's good, man. That's good. So what in your experience of being a broadcaster and you started off as a reporter and you wound up being an anchor. What was the craziest thing you've seen in the time that you've been doing the thing?
Oh my gosh. How gory do you want me to get?
It's up to you, man.
This business, you see all kinds of things. Like I've been in situations where, drug dealers running from the cop rolled his car and, in the middle of a residential neighborhood. And then, you kind of got to see the aftermath of that. You'll see your occasional car accidents, which can be, kind of terrifying. And you've been on murder scenes where, you hear moms scream and family members scream because they kind of see what happened, learn what happened, have that realization happen. But then you get to do a lot of really, really fun stuff. When certain big events come to town, I get to do live shots at the event or with that artist. People know I'm kind of a big wrestling fan down here, so when wrestling comes through, they always bring a wrestler into the set, and I get to be the one to lock arms with Dean Ambrose and some of the other guys. Daniel Bryan, 2 days after he won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania in New Orleans a few years back, so that was awesome. He didn't bring the belts, unfortunately, so I was really excited to see those.
We had a big old snake.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, it was
the big old
Reptile
anaconda.
Day.
Yeah.
They brought the snakes in. It just offers you unique perspectives and insight to a lot of different things. I've seen the president speak.
You and Jared went. Yep.
And Daniel was there with me as well.
Yeah.
And
That's
I've
dope.
been places where after tornadoes rip through a community, when hurricanes come ashore, when cruise ships are stranded in the Gulf, I can just go down the list of all the crazy stuff that I've been a part of, been able to see, and when you line it all up, it kind of widens my own eyes. Like, wow, I've done a whole lot since I've been here.
Right. Now, you was in Los Angeles. Why? What were you trying to do there?
Well, my mom had a friend whose daughter was kind of connected at ABC, and on the production side of things, and it was just a contact. Who knows what it might have turned into? I actually interviewed at TMZ to be one of the tour bus drivers. So I was in the TMZ studios, and I saw Harvey. He was working on something else. So that was a unique experience. Didn't get the job, which is fine. But LA was just a risk to take. My dad, he gave my blessings. He's like, you have nothing here, nothing to lose here. Go.
Right. That's cool. That's cool. Could you see yourself doing like the E! News or?
Entertainment news, I could see myself. If they
I could see you doing
calling, yeah, I could see myself doing that. TMZ, maybe not as much.
Right.
But I know they have a good time at their offices, but they work really hard.
Right.
Some of the big celebrity stories coming out of Hollywood in the last 5-10 years.
Right.
TMZ's had it first.
Yeah, and that's
So
all.
they're a legit news operation to be reckoned with, whether you like them or not,
Right.
in the way they do things. But when they report something,
It's breaking.
and you're like, oh, okay. The TMZ has it. We can report that
Right.
now. You don't need to wait for secondary confirmation
Right.
from ABC News or anybody. If TMZ says it, you're probably good to run with it yourself.
Right. Okay, yeah, man. I think you can do it, man. Like, what is your overall aspirations? Like, you just want to take it wherever it takes you, or like, is there an end goal for you?
That's a good question, because my goal that I've always had was to be at SportsCenter, anchoring whatever show they want me to do. 'Cause
Yeah, man.
it'd be, the flagship ESPN.
Right.
But even beyond that, I wanted to be the main host of College Game Day.
Oh, that's
the
cool.
biggest college football game every single week. I wanted to be the guy at the desk, welcome you to the show.
Right.
Turning to Desmond on my right, and Kirk Herbstreit on my left, and
Yeah.
Corso and Samantha Ponder, and David Green, all those guys. Or excuse me, David Pollock. David Green played quarterback at Georgia. David Pollock played defensive end at Georgia around the same time. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have that job, and I looked up to Chris Fowler. I still watch Game Day every Saturday morning when I can, all 3 hours of it, because I think it's the best show on TV of anything on TV. Period. Show, drama, reality, you name it. It's the best show on TV.
All right, cool.
But then Reese Davis just got that job, and I actually got to meet him a few years ago at Ball State when he was doing play-by-play for a Ball State game. Real nice guy. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those things, with me starting a family here now, and the baby on the way. Your goals kind of change with that. But I don't know. I think everything's kind of open right now.
Yeah, that's good. So you're leaving us,
Yes.
going to Kansas City.
Yes,
That's
sir.
why I really wanted to have you on the show, so I can get you on there, one time before you
course.
go, and tell you, man, it was real fun to work with you. I'm really sad to see you go.
Yeah, it was.
Really sad to see you go.
Back in August, when my wife and I were kind of thinking about the next step, we had the opportunity we could stay, because we love Lafayette. We have friends here. We got a base here. I coach at UL at the university, coach cheerleading, and it was a lot of things happened very, very fast. Where my name got out, and next thing you know, I have this news director calling me, that assistant news director calling me, and just a lot of interest. And I'm like, oh, well, let's kind of see where this goes. Let's not close any doors just yet, because we are far from home. We're a 15-hour drive from Indiana, where we're at, and Kansas City, ABC affiliate there, called and said, hey, we want you to be our evening anchor, 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock. That cuts our drive time home in half. We can get direct home on Southwest, and being able to, on a Saturday morning, if I needed to get home, if she needed to get home, if our parents needed to come out and see us, we could get up at 5, 6 in the morning and be home by 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Compared to now, it's a
day.
It's a whole day's haul. Usually we'll break it up into a couple of days.
Right.
And then you got to make the drive back at some point.
Right. So yeah, man. So we're gonna miss you.
Thank you, man.
We
I'll
are
miss you
going
guys
to
too.
miss
I
you.
love this place.
Yeah, we had a good time. I was a floor director. I had to yell at Steven
Multiple times.
many times. Steven play around, man. Steven like to play.
That's the morning show
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah,
though. We're all sleep deprived. Whether you go to bed at 5 o'clock,
Half
6
the
o'clock,
same.
8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Some days I'm coming from practice or a football game or who knows what, or watching football or basketball, which I know you do too.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to keep it light and keep people active.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're really good at it, man. You got and it feels so natural. It doesn't feel forced or fake.
Thank you. Yeah, that's me. What you get outside of the TV station is what you get on TV.
Now, when you go over there, you're not doing the morning.
No.
So you got to be more serious.
Yes.
You ready for that?
I am ready for that. Because when I did the weekend show here, it was definitely a similar vibe, because it was on Saturdays we do 6 and 10, and Sundays 5:30 and 10. But with myself and Daniel and Andy and Chet and Tom Martin, those are the sports guys. We were able to have that. You could call it kind of a morning show feel to it on the back half of the show.
Yeah.
Whereas those first 8-9 minutes of seriousness with me and a little bit of Daniel. So it'll be an easy transition. I've met a lot of really good people at my new station, and I feel like it'll be one of those things where we're serious about our job because we're one of the top stations, but at the same time there'll be lots of opportunities for us to smile and laugh and kind of enjoy what we do.
That's good. Now, what advice would you have to give to anybody who wants to do what we do?
Start early. if you can.
Yeah.
Try to start early. Know what you want to do. Get those internships. They're not going to be paid. If you find one that's paid, grab it by two hands and don't let go. Internships are great, and no matter what type of internship it might be, if it's one where you are really hands-on, which would be amazing, or if it's one where you don't get to do as much stuff as you want, be personable, ask to do things, ask for work, hey, how could I help you? I mean, you might think you might be annoying them at some point, but eventually they're going to find something for you to do.
You're right.
And they're going to be like, well, that guy, he always wants something to do, so let's give him something. And if he does well, then you can get more responsibility, so on and so forth. And this day and age, you got to know how to do it all. Shoot, write, edit, produce, go on camera, be behind the camera, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, having your own website, things like that, being able to operate that camera well, and bottom line, just kind of be a hard worker and know that, you know, some days aren't going to be the best days, but as long as people know you're willing to work and get the job done, you'll be fine. But as long as you're open and personable and kind of know what you're doing and willing to grind, you're going to be okay. Somebody's going to notice you eventually.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best advice you can get. You know, you just got to work at it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And it might sound cliche, but in this business, that really is what counts.
Yeah, you got to be out there. Got to put your face out there too. That you mentioned before that you cheerleader.
Yeah.
How was that, man? Like that's something I honestly always wanted to ask, because you ain't Steven, like, he's sitting down, but he ain't no small dude. So I can't imagine anybody picking on him. But I mean, male cheerleaders, I'm sure, get a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. Not so much as much as you think it might be. Because what happened was, back in high school, a buddy of mine, he joined an all-star cheerleading team, which is, you know, competition only, and they needed a couple extra guys. And, you know, me being somebody who's, you know, curious, you got to be curious in journalism, I was like, well, let me go see what it's all about. I'll sign up. So I did that whole season, my senior year of high school. So I'd go to football practice 5 days a week, and then I'd go to cheer practice 2 or 3 times a week after football practice. And same thing during track season and all that stuff. And then I was getting towards the end of my senior year, and my coach is like, hey, did you ever think about cheering in college? I know you want to go to Ball State and all that stuff. I know the coach up there. And I thought I was going to walk on the football team, because football is my first love, will always be, as far as, you know, being a competitor, being an athlete. And they're like, sure, yeah, I'll at least go see what it's all about. Went up there, tried out, made the team, had no idea what I was getting myself into. I'd never cheered on the sideline at a game before, because I was always in the game.
Right.
And then next thing you know, I'm cheering football, I'm cheering basketball, I'm competing at UCA College Nationals all my freshman years, and the next thing you know, there's a company called Varsity, Varsity Brands, which owns a whole bunch of cheerleading companies, and they have basically 18 to 23, 24, 25-year-olds teach summer camps to you know, elementary, junior high, high school, college cheerleaders. And it's a job that you have so much fun, because you're with a bunch of people your age, and you crisscross your state, you crisscross your region, like the Midwest, and you know, if you're really good at it, they'll give you the opportunity to travel the world teaching cheerleading.
That's cool.
So then when I got down here, I was like, well, I got to stay involved somehow.
Right.
And the job at UL kind of opened up as I came to GMA, and here I am 2.5 years later.
That's cool, man. Like, again, because you was playing football, so I'm sure your homeboys was like, yo, what you doing, Steve? What you doing with these girls and pom-poms?
Well, I wasn't holding any of the pom-poms. No, it was all love. Honestly, it's like, yeah, I told him, it's
cool.
just competition cheerleading, man. It's whatever. And, you know, cool. It's like it's taken away from football.
What advice would you have to anybody who is scared because of that?
You just got to jump in with 2 feet. What other people think and might say doesn't really matter.
Right.
You know, because all my friends, you know I'm a driven person to be the best at a whole bunch of different things, and this is just another avenue. And I get to say, I've spent a month in Germany on 3 different occasions. I spent 4 days in Rome teaching at the American School of Rome. I spent, in Belgium. There's a school there that I taught for 2 days at, and got to visit Amsterdam, and I'm getting paid to do all this stuff.
Right.
You know, there's not many summer jobs that turn into opportunities to travel the world on somebody else's dime.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, so it was one of those opportunities that I'm glad I went down. I'm glad I'm still doing it. I'm glad I'm still involved because now I get to, pass my craft on to younger kids and hopefully they can kind of continue the torch and keep cheerleading going.
Right now, because since you've been doing the cheerleading thing, you've grown as like a member of the UL family. How does that feel?
It's awesome. Because I'm on the sidelines, and people kind of like, oh, you're a TV guy. I see you every morning. We have coffee together every single week or every single morning. And, thank you, and all that stuff. But they also see me like, oh, you're a big part of the cheer program. Between myself, my assistant coach, my spirit coordinator, who also coaches the dance team, and the wonderful kids that I get the pleasure to coach. It's really been a blessing because they are literally family members to me.
Yeah, that's cool. But like, cause you're from Ball State,
yes, sir,
University, and but you can honestly claim UL as part of your lineage of schools.
Yep. Even when I leave, the first thing I'll do every single Saturday evening is check to see how the Cajuns are doing. When basketball season starts, same thing, men's and women's. I'll always keep my eye on the Cajuns. I'll always be wearing Cajuns gear, and people are probably gonna be asking me like, what's a Raging Cajun? Where is that? And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna tell you what a Raging Cajun is real quick.
Right. Right.
So it'll be nice to carry that brand with me, and I'll always keep UL and Lafayette close to me.
Are you gonna do that in Kansas City?
Probably not. Our first child is coming mid to end of January,
right? And
then I'll have be working evenings compared to mornings, so my evenings will be occupied. So it'll probably just be something that I might help on the side. I know I have a couple contacts and friends who coach up there, so I might run up there and help him if he needs something, or just kind of pop in just so I can stay around it. But for now, I'm gonna put the coaching career to the side for now, and we'll see if I want to get back into it down the road.
What made you not want to stay with that to begin with? Like instead of continue with the broadcasting, what made you not want to be a cheerleader coach permanently?
It's not exactly it doesn't pay the bills all that well.
All right.
For most coaches across the country, it's a side job.
Okay.
Some have the opportunity, they'll be like the spirit coordinator and they'll oversee the dance team or some sort of marketing and all that stuff. But for most of us, it's a job where we have our our main job, and then we have something we love to do on the side. We just have to get paid for it.
Well, that's cool. Do NFL teams have male cheerleading coaches?
Some do. I know the Colts had one for about the past 4 years, and they just got rid of it. Don't know why. The Ravens had some. I think the Saints used to have some. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like they used to. And there's a handful of other teams that might have one or two guys. Usually they call them a stunt team, and when they have the guys and the girls, you kind of the guys throwing the girls in the air. But for the most part, at NFL games, it's just the dance teams. Even though they might call them cheerleaders, they're dance teams.
Right. Okay, I got you. Well, we are at the halfway point here, so we're gonna do a segment called 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 questions, 10 answers. Are you ready?
I think so. I don't know what's about to happen, but I'll roll with it, man.
You're stuck on a desert island. Everything else is taken care of, but you have 4 albums to listen to the rest of your life. What are those 4 albums?
4 albums to listen to the rest of my life.
Yep.
Probably Michael Jackson's Off the Wall.
Cool.
Thriller's a great album, don't get me wrong. But,
right.
Off the Wall was kind of his. That's where Michael came out.
No, I'm with
Michael.
you. I agree.
4 albums. Clips, Lord Willing.
All right.
It was one of my favorite albums back in high school when that came out. My best friend and I would rap grinding before every single football game. Just me and him. And on the bus, wherever we're going. I know it's corny, but it kind of got us pumped up.
That's dope.
The soundtrack to Hamilton.
All right.
Get a little Broadway in there. Cool. Can't wait to see the show, by the way. In Chicago, waiting for that.
That's dope.
And my final album. Man, this is. Oh God, there's so many.
The rest of your life.
The rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to waste your time and give you a bad answer or
That's
something
all right.
like that.
No, that's cool, man.
Because I'm trying to think back to those albums that would always just hit track 1. Usher, Confessions.
Right.
I got my pop, I got my R&B, got my Broadway, and then I got my my rap as well.
That's well-rounded, man.
I like to think so.
That's very well-rounded. Question number 3. Top 3 cartoons of all time.
Top 3 cartoons of all time.
Yeah, boy.
Oh my gosh, man! You come at me with these questions. I should have had them written down before I got here. Top 3 cartoons. I gotta go Family Guy number 1, just because the way it infuses current events, pop culture from the past, and all that together. Definitely Family Guy. Archer, just because I laugh way too hard every single time, and then you can't. I mean, what's better than Tom and Jerry?
Tom and Jerry, wow. Don't need no words, just giving the music. My man. Question number 2. You got 2 days a weekend to spend with 2 celebrities of the opposite sex. Who are they and what are you doing?
2 days, 2 celebrities of the opposite sex. Man, how you really throwing curveballs at me?
Yeah, boy.
Maybe 2 members of the opposite sex. And what are we doing? I feel like this is one of those trick questions, trap questions. Put me on blast on the world.
People always think that,
but
I mean, they always go that way.
But you
not
don't,
necessarily.
you don't need to. Yeah, you
Right.
definitely don't need to.
Some chick told me, I can't remember what the celebrities were, but she was just gonna curl up on the couch and watch Netflix with them. That was it.
No, that works.
There you go.
Celebrity of the opposite sex.
Yep. And you spending a weekend with both of them.
Oh, at the same time.
Right.
Oh, it's okay. So it's like a chill sesh. Okay, we're kicking it like that. I feel like it'd be probably at least one movie star and at least somebody who sings. Right, Ellen DeGeneres would be one.
Wow.
Because she's hilarious. And, I mean, she's just a great human being, so
No,
I think
she's
she'd be
awesome,
fun to
man.
have around. And Halle Berry.
Ellen DeGeneres and Halle Berry. What are the 3 of you doing?
Oh, I mean, Ellen's gonna keep us laughing, so she's got the jokes, and I feel like Halle Berry would just have a lot to say about
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be one of those conversations that the 3 of us could have, and we'd get a long way with it.
That's dope, man. Question number 1. One place on planet Earth that you haven't been that you would like to go.
Oh gosh, well, Rome was my number 1 place I wanted to visit in the world, and I've been there. Would definitely like to go back. And if you haven't been to Rome, definitely go visit. Prayers, they just had a big earthquake up there that direction today. But one place in the world that I have not been that I would love to go visit would probably be Daniel Phillips, our meteorologist at the station. One of them, he would want me to say Australia, but I'm not going to Australia.
Okay. Why not?
Everything there can kill you. One place in the world, I would probably want to hike to the first base camp on Mount Everest. I'm not going up to the top, but I would love to go there.
So that's like the first one you can reach to?
Where the first most of the tents are and people are hanging out. I think I would love to be able to, you fly into Nepal or whatever side you go on, and you have to take a bunch of cars to a certain spot, and you got to hike until you get there. Then start hiking up the mountain and get there. And I think I would like to hike to that first base camp.
Oh, wow.
I refuse to go up to the top, but I'd be down to get halfway up it, see it from that angle, watch people go off, and celebrate with them when they come down and make it.
Right.
But I'm not going up that mountain.
I don't blame you, man. That's nothing but work, and then there's no air up there. So
No
no way.
I've seen many Everest documentaries, and none of them turn out well.
I'm cool on that, man. And I don't like. Speaking of random questions, hot or cold?
How's the cold?
No, hot or cold? What you
Hot or
like?
cold?
Yeah.
Oh, hot all day.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if people like the director at the station, Reggie, loves the cold, and he got excited with this cold front, and I'm like, why? I hate the cold. My skin get all tight and itchy, and then if it gets colder, you gotta shovel ice off your.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
It's
And
a
you
hassle.
from the cold?
Yeah. I don't choose to, because even when it snows, yeah, it's pretty, for those first couple of days. Then after a while, once it's pushed to the side of the road, dirt gets all up in it, and muffler smokes all of it.
Right.
It's just nasty, and then it's in the way. Then it gets on your shoes and on your socks and on your pants, and it's just more of a nuisance than anything.
I think people who get excited for the cold weather are weirdos. I'm saying that on my show. I think you're all a bunch of weirdos, and I don't understand you. It's so much better to be hot. And then they say there's always an argument that you can put on more clothes, but you can't take off more clothes. Whatever.
Go inside.
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So thin cut fries or thick cut fries?
Oh, thick cut.
No, man.
Yeah, thick
no,
cut.
man. Nothing but potato, man. I like thin cut.
See the thin, I have to get so many of them before I really get that potato flavor. So I like the thick cut. That's me.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Neither.
Really?
Nope, not doing either.
Why not?
No, thank you.
Oh man, that's so
If
strange.
Cooler Ranch Doritos count, then I'll do that. But
Okay.
nah, don't bring that other mess to me.
Oh man, that's so weird. What's another one I had? Tupac or Biggie?
I have to go Biggie because I'll admit I haven't listened to a ton of Tupac.
Yeah.
He's an amazing artist,
Right.
obviously, but I've just always listened to more Biggie than Tupac.
I think I go with Biggie too.
It's close though, obviously.
Yeah. You don't want see, and it's funny. You can't say either one without getting in some sort of trouble with some people, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Biggie too.
No.
But I'm recording this at Ambooks 2, the comic book shop. Thanks to Mr. Jeff for letting me rock out here once again. See all the stuff behind me. This is the Warhammer side. So buy all this stuff. On the other side is the comic books. So please support your local comic books, local comic book shops. And big thanks to Mr. Jeff once again. So did you meet your wife doing Chili?
Yes, yeah. She actually hired me for my first job.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, there was no sparks or anything like that years and years ago.
Right.
But after I stopped working for her, that's when we kind of started dating. Then we got married a year and a half ago.
Well, that's cool. But y'all met in Indiana, and she traveled with you.
She's from Bloomington, Indiana. Went to Indiana University and all that good stuff. And after about a year that I was down here, then she decided to come on and move down here as well.
All right, and so, and y'all about to have a baby. How do you feel about being a new dad?
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Yeah?
There'll be
You excited, huh?
There'll be plenty of sleepless nights, and the baby will be crying, and we're like, oh my God, what do we do?
Right.
But it'll be one of those experiences that I'm looking forward to.
Man, that's great, man. And congratulations.
Thank you.
To
thank
the
you,
both of
thank you.
y'all. And you already know what you're having. You're having a little boy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So what's your plans? Like, what's the most exciting thing that you're ready to do?
With the baby?
Yeah. You gotta have a little boy.
I don't know. Probably just take him on a walk through the park. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't really know. My job now is just to keep it alive. and teach it great values and all that good stuff, which we'll obviously be doing. But I just want first things first. I just want him to come out healthy and happy.
Right. How often you plan on coming back down here?
I should be back in December, like right after I leave, a couple of times because I'll still be helping coach the team, our cheer squad, because we get ready for nationals in mid-January. So the goal is to come back at least twice for a couple of weekend practices, and then the next time I'm back will be April-ish, somewhere in April for our end of the year banquet. After that, I don't know. I definitely plan to come back and visit here and there. But with the new baby and new job, you just never know with those things.
Right. I mean, I can imagine it being. It's a curveball, man. It's a big curveball. You never know what's gonna happen. But you got a good core. So I think that you'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get it all figured out.
But like I said, we at the comic book shop. Are you interested in stuff like this or superheroes and stuff like that?
I've never really gotten into it. The closest thing I've probably been into as far as comic books would be Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And the show, I didn't even know it was a comic book when I started watching the show.
Right.
Because I started watching Walking Dead before season 4 or 5.
Okay.
And I've been binge watched it on Netflix, of course. And that's when I found out, I'm like, oh, this is based on a comic book? So, Katie, one of our other anchors, she has the comic books. Not all the individual ones, but the volumes. So, it's all kind of put together.
Man.
So
I ain't know that about Katie.
Oh, yeah, she loves horror. See, she'd be a good guest on the show in the future. She'll tell you all about the horror stuff.
Right. See, I don't like horror. I'm not a fan of Walking Dead. I'm one of those people. There's like 5 of us in the whole world. So there's people on the internet that's always spoiling stuff. So you can't even get on the internet when the show comes out. I'm cool with it.
Man.
I mean, cause it doesn't affect me, but it's still a jerk move to do.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a reporter and say they got the information first.
They're like, no, you just watched what everybody else did.
Right.
No, and it was one of those things I had to make a point. Since we go to bed early, I missed the season premiere.
Yeah.
I had to make a point. I'm not getting on Twitter and I'm not getting on Facebook until I can get home and watch.
Great.
And then one of my buddies in my group chat from back home just decided to run off all these spoilers. Thank God I didn't look, so I didn't see everything that happened, but I caught an eye of one.
Yeah.
So I put my foot down in our group chat. I'm like, look,
Chill out.
like no spoilers. If it's a movie, you have to wait at least a week
Right.
before you can talk about that movie in the group chat. And if it's a show, it's got to be 24 to 36 hours.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like
You got to give people ample time to
yeah,
catch up.
let people watch it, man.
We don't all work on the same schedule.
It's interesting because like it's not appointment television anymore, so you can watch it whenever you want to watch it, but you have to watch it early.
Yep.
So it's still appointment television.
Yeah, I mean, I saw people posting at like 11:30, like an hour, 2 hours right after the show ended. Like, here's everything that happened. I'm like,
Right.
I mean, I saw it after I watched it later on, but I'm about to be like, bro, why? There might be 10 people that you're
Yeah.
friends with, and you have a couple thousand friends who are on an awkward schedule, or might have been out to dinner, or might have been this and that.
Right.
As much as we might love Walking Dead or any other show or movie, doesn't mean we're gonna watch it at that moment.
Right.
We have life.
Yeah. Just keep it to yourself, cause like I was watching, I was really excited about Luke Cage when it came out on Netflix, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm starting to look at on Twitter, cause I'm watching it at the pace I want to watch it at, but people watched the whole thing that night.
Just all 8, 10, 12
Right.
episodes, just knock them out.
So you can't even look at Twitter because like they got spoilers, you know.
Yeah.
You just never know, man. You just never know.
So I mean, I guess in one way it puts that immediacy back into it. You know, say the days before DVR.
Right.
And if you missed that show, everybody was talking about it at work.
Right.
You were gonna get it spoiled anyways.
Right.
But back then you couldn't just go hop on the internet and
Yeah.
go to whatever Hulu, this site, that site, and just watch it immediately. So it's just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, just
That's
try.
really what
Yeah,
it is.
try to be nice about it, man. Yeah, Walking Dead, yo, like nah. I go into the station and Reggie's looking at it and it just
Reggie was not happy.
it was just
Reggie was not happy at all.
it's just gruesome, man. I don't look at that early in the morning. I'm just waking up. I'm half asleep and I just see somebody getting hit. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it. But I could hear it. Come on, man.
Negan went to town
Gross.
a couple times.
Yeah, man.
Carrying Lucille around. But hey, we'll see what happens the rest of the season.
We'll see. Yeah. So that's the only foray into the comic book culture.
Yeah. I just never grew up getting into it or really having an interest in it. You know, my things that I got onto were always sports related. Whether I was watching it, playing it, going to the weight room. That was just kind of my area where I just kind of gravitated to.
Yeah. Well, like, cause you know I watch a lot of movies. Try to do the morning movie review. It didn't. I was so nervous, man, and I don't feel nervous at all doing this. But like, I was so nervous when we did it, man, and like, I was like, man, and Steve was real nice about it. Was trying to give me so much advice. I thought, you know, because Steve's been doing this forever, you know, big time.
Call a couple of years forever, yeah.
Yeah, big time TV man. I thought he was gonna be like, oh man, what is this amateur doing? Like, chill.
No. I was at a point where I had to get in front of a TV screen and be like, I'm supposed to read. Oh, here we go. So I mean, it's just one of those comfort things. Like people still ask me to this day, do I get nervous when I get on set?
I was about to ask you that.
Like, there's nothing to get nervous about now because I'm just standing there. There's a couple floor directors there. There's our producer walking through the newsroom. It's just honestly in the morning it's just kind of empty.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, and that's how I go into it. I know I'm speaking to thousands of people in the morning through the camera, and I'm talking to them and talking with them. But I know there's not a throng of people in there like judging me on the spot.
Right.
And it's just a piece of machinery that I'm looking at right there.
Yeah.
Now live shots, that's a little bit different, especially if you're at a festival or some kind of other scene.
That's tough.
There's people around.
You gotta come. I mean, but not only that, but you gotta come off the top with it. You know.
Well, people think it's all off the top of the brain. Yes, it is because you need to know your information. But in the end, most of us, what we'll do is we'll just jot down a few bullet points. These are the main. This is what happened. This is when it happened. This is how it's happened. This is what we know, and just make bullet points. Because if you try to write down word for word what you're gonna say, you're gonna be looking up and down. You're gonna be looking up and down. You're gonna lose your spot, and that's when you start stumbling.
Right. Oh yeah.
No, just the little bullet points, and you just kind of glance, mention that, and then this happened, and that happened, and you just make it a story of your own that you tell the people. And it becomes easier and easier as you do it. Even if you do bomb one, which I've bombed live shots before.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion, bomb. Some people would say it was fine. But I've had live shots which I didn't think went very well, and I get back and he was like, no, you're fine. You're good.
Your first time on camera, how was it? Were you nervous the first time? Like this is it?
Like live shot or like actually on the set?
Both.
Both. My first live shot was like 5 days into being here, and I'd never done a live shot of the field before.
Oh, man.
You know, I'd done a bunch of in-studio stuff back in college. Well, I take that back. Back in college, I did do some live stuff. We did a live preview show before one of our football games, which was a half hour long. But this was different because this was Mickey Schoenig. You know, we had a missing girl, and people didn't know where she was. This was earliest of the early of the stuff happening, and we're at one of the watch centers, you know, where people are coming in, signing in, and I'm moving their getting supplies and going out and searching. And I'm in my suit, and all these people walk around me, and I'm like, okay, this is real. Let's go.
This is really happening.
I got to do this. I have to tell people what's going on. You can come down and help out, or this is what we do know. This is what police are doing. This is what police are saying. And then it went okay. And then my first time at the anchor desk, that time I did get pretty nervous.
Why?
Just because I knew I was in a different role.
Okay.
You know, when you're a reporter, I feel like public perception is people look at that reporter like, okay, they're just in the field, they're not the anchor. Because when you're the anchor, you steer the show.
Yeah.
As you go, the show goes. Sometimes when you have prompter problems or audio problems or video problems, you got to know what's going on so you can keep the show and the pacing going. And some people are good at that, some people aren't. And I think it was that realization that first day where I just I was like, all right, this is all on me, because it was a solo show or a weekend show.
Oh yeah.
And it's the weekend. Not as many people watch, but people still want their news. They might DVR it and watch it later.
Right.
And you just kind of feel a new responsibility knowing you're at the anchor desk.
Yeah, because like the reporters, like the soldiers, and the anchors are more like captains, like generals.
Yep.
And I can imagine, because I would assume that you feel more responsibility as an anchor to the viewers.
Yeah, because God bless reporters. They are on the ground, out in the heat, rain or shine, carrying their stuff. Tripod, camera, come back and edit, do all their own stuff. That's where the industry was. I used to do it. But what people remember is how the anchor did on the shot. Because a reporter, unless they really have a bad live shot, people aren't going to remember the quality of it. They'll remember the information, but they'll remember what the anchor follows up with. And they expect their anchor to be polished, somebody well-spoken who can deliver that information properly and concisely. Give them a little bit of I don't want to say comedy, but lightheartedness as well. But when it's serious time, it's serious time. And this is why you need to listen.
Right.
You have to convey that message to them.
Yeah, man. Well, like I told you, man, we're gonna miss you.
Thank you.
And you're a professional.
I'll miss you too.
You're a professional, man, and an inspiration. And I'm gonna try to get to your level one day.
Hey, do it, man.
You know what I mean?
Do it. We all start somewhere.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about this business is you can go so long with nothing happening, and then next thing you know, boom, you got a job, and then boom, you got a promotion, or boom, you head to a different job, and it can happen so quickly. And some people get to a spot, they're happy with it, and they just roll with it, and that by all means, that is cool. But it's a business that's always changing, so you always have to be ready for what's coming next.
Right. Man, well, I tell you what, I love doing this thing, so I'm just trying to make this more profitable.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
I love doing a podcast.
Yeah, man, you got the setup with the camera and the mic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good little setup. It's I don't know if I'm the most famous person you've had on the podcast, but getting more people in here, that'd be great.
It's up there, man. It might be.
Nah.
I had Cody Chamberlain. I had Ernie Hudson.
Oh yes, from Ghostbusters.
From
You told me you met him
Yeah.
at Comic-Con a few weeks
Yep.
ago. I would love to meet him then.
He was surprisingly nice.
Good.
He was really, really cool about it, and he didn't charge me anything. I asked him if I could get him on the microphone. He said, yeah, sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And that was that, man. But no, he was real, real cool.
Well, I'm not a Ghostbuster, so he's got me beat by a long way.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put you at top 5.
I can take that.
Top 5.
I'll
yeah.
take that.
You got any social media you want to give to the people or what?
Oh, yeah. Follow me on Twitter at Stephen Albritton, StevenAlbritton. That's probably the best way to reach me, contact me, converse with me is definitely on Twitter. I have an Instagram. It's the same name. I don't post to it all that much. I'm not big on Instagram anymore.
Why not?
Once they changed up the system and how pictures populate out of order and all that, it's like, I'm good. Oh, Snapchat, same name.
So you see down with the Snapchat.
Snapchat's fun. Snapchat's
I'm
a lot
not
of
with
fun.
the. I don't understand Snapchat, man. I'm an old man, I guess.
Well, I feel like Snapchat's one of those things that's evolved over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And now you can follow so many people and get kind of quick glimpses into their life, or long glimpses if they snap story all the way out.
Right.
And and just it's just another way to interact with people. It's cool. It's cool. I like it.
Any final words before we get about here?
Oh goodness! Final words. I guess I'll say the cliche: follow your dreams,
Yeah.
and do what you want, and kind of pursue it. Don't let anybody tell you no. I had people tell me no. My father, I love him dearly. He's a great man, my hero. I look up to him, but he wanted me to go into pharmaceutical sales and kind of follow his path.
Yeah.
Which for what he did, he was very, very successful at it and very, very good at it. Mm-hmm. And he was, like all fathers, they just want that same success for other sons. But I was able to be put in a position in the schools that I went to branch out and do something different. And he's proud of me, and he sees the success I'm having. But he knew, and he told me from the beginning, and I thank him every day for it. He told me, if you're going to go in the news, you're going to starve. And that is the God-honest truth, because you're going to get to your first market and it'll be something in the 120s, 150s, 180s, maybe even 200s up there. And the pay is what it is. You'll have a roommate. You might roommate with a couple other reporters or producers that work at the station, and you got to grind it out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't make it past their first contract. They'll work there a year and a half, 2 years, and they're like, okay, I need to go do something that makes a little more money, that makes me a little happier, because you get put in a lot of depressing situations. But the highs equal out the lows, and if you stick with it and you grind with it, if you learn and you grow as a journalist, as a producer, as anybody in the TV or media industry, you're going to have some success in this.
What market are you going to now?
Lafayette is 120, 121. I'm going to market 33.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a big jump.
Massive jump. So I'll have that pressure on me when I get there. I'm like,
Right.
am I supposed to be here right now? Because usually you'll go to your small mid-market, you make like a 20, 30, 40 market jump in the mids, and then you'll make another 20, 30, 40 market jump, and then try to get into those higher ones.
Yeah.
I'm just going all the way up,
That's
as
crazy.
they say.
That's good. That's good, man. Well, best wishes to you.
I appreciate it, man.
Best
Appreciate
wishes to
it. Thank
you.
you for having me on the show, man. It was good. It was good.
It was a lot of fun. As always, follow me on Twitter, GrasshopperGP, Instagram, GrasshopperGP, both of which spelled normally. No special characters, numbers, emojis, underscores, anything crazy like that. GrasshopperGP, Instagram and Twitter. GrasshopperGP@yahoo.com is the email. Sponsorships, advertisements, questions. Any nice comments, I really appreciate them. Thank y'all for rocking with me for so long. And you're watching this and listening to this on Grasshopper GP Official. That's Grasshopper with 3 S's, because when I made the account, I couldn't spell. Grasshopper GP Official with 3 S's is a YouTube account. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy, Grasshopper GP. It's GP, AquaMethodPodcast, Stephen Albritton. Y'all be good.